Hey guys, my name's Ryan Peters and I'm a musician from Australia. Today, in this video, we get to have a chat with composer Ben Berkenbosch. Ben's an amazing composer, known for his epic hybrid synthy piano combination of all that music. And if you haven't checked out his stuff, go do that now. As we say in the video, all the links to his socials and his music will be in the description below. In this video, we get to have a chat with Ben about music and his life and his thoughts, and it's a really great way to see, how he thinks and how he approaches music. And from this video, I got, or from this interview rather, I just got an understanding of how much he loves music and how inspired he is by music, which is really great to see. So I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure again to go check out his stuff, and thanks for watching. All right, how are we going, guys? I'm here today with Ben Berkenbosch. We're having a chat about his music and a bunch of other different things. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing pretty good. Writing a lot of music at the moment. Pretty busy, but it's all going really well.
It's good to hear. A lot of composers are like super busy. So I really thank you for having a chat with me. But that's the one thing about composers. They're always busy and they've got work and they're always working on things. So it's really good to see and, get music out and make the world a better place, I suppose. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's always like time to make stuff like this happen. I think it's really fun to just have some time to do different things than just changing levels of certain instruments. That's like 90% of my day.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we get started, do you play an instrument? I'm not too sure if you play like...
Well, I do play piano. I started playing a bit of violin, but that's not going too well. Although piano is doing great. I've been playing piano for like about 6 years, almost 7, I think.
Yeah, it's always the one thing, because I don't know if you can tell what instrument I play. But I always wish I put a little bit more time into piano in my high school days.
Right.
Just, I can play a melody, I can play chords, but I just wish I could have those skills a little bit more. And just, you need to input MIDI, so there you go, learn piano. But
yeah, right.
But anyway,
that's the useful thing about like composing, because I've started out with playing piano, so the fact that everything is based on piano notes made it really nice to start.
It's so easy, and it works out so well for piano players. You can get like little crappy MIDI devices for guitars and stick them on, and I don't think they work too well. I had a piece of software, it was called MIDI guitar at one point, and that would pick up the audio signal and turn it into MIDI, but nothing beats the keyboard here behind me. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, let's get into having a little bit of a chat about you and further. What I like to do when I talk to people is, get them to explain, what they're known for and what they do and what they want to be known for. Because, so many people know different people for different things. But what are you known for, Ben? What are you best at, and what do you put out?
Well, I think I'm most famously known for like my songs on Epic Music World and the Pandora Journey. Those are like the most viewed things of music I released. And they're mainly like for my album Frozen in Time, which is an album full of emotional piano music with orchestral and synth elements. And it's quite experimental, but it's also quite epic. So I'm really glad it blew up the way it did. Well, that's like after a couple months.
We were having a chat before as well, and like these like Epic Music World are great venues for composers just to get their music out there, because there's so much like yourself, amazing music and amazing composers out there, and things like Epic Music World are doing amazing things, and and putting it out there. So look, I'll just give you a
Yeah,
plug now. If you haven't heard Ben's music, definitely go check it out. Link will be in the description. So just putting that out there early in the chat. But what I want to do
thanks.
is have a look further and like what got you starting into music. Like you mentioned you've been playing piano for 6 years. Was that where it all started?
Well, that's actually not really where it started even. I think like I started to play like Zelda games when I was 3 years old. And I always like, Ocarina of Time, The Wind Waker, stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
always really enjoyed the music. And I always liked that orchestral music, but also like how it just sounded. And I didn't really know anything about how it's made, but later on I started to listen to Two Steps from Hell,
Yeah.
Zach Hempsey. And that was when I was like 7 years old, and I listened to that music a lot, and I just listened to all the instruments and stuff. But I never really considered composing until I started playing piano. I started when I was like 12 years old. I'm 18 now. So it was like 6 years ago. And I started like mostly by ear, self-taught for most of it. I learned some of like how to sit and how to put your fingers on the piano. But I started to learn like Two Steps from Hell songs. I listened to them and I tried to find out the chords, the harmony, and then the melody. And I started playing a lot of Two Steps from Hell songs. That's like what I did a lot, but also League of Legends, all types of film scores from Hans Zimmer, John Williams, a lot of stuff actually. And eventually I started just enjoying more and more different music and all types of music. Like I don't listen to epic music only. Like I listen to so many different styles, and for each different style, I take some element of it into my own creativity when writing music. And like I think a year, it's actually only like a little bit more than a year ago that I actually started seriously composing with the DAW. And that went actually really well, really fast, because from the moment I started, I just spent like 40 hours a week on it every week besides school. And
Yeah.
I'm still doing that. So it's sometimes it's quite intense, but I'm learning a lot also because of some amazing people that have taught me a lot of great things.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
your progression was very natural, not like, okay, here's a door. I'm going to learn how to program a door. Okay, I've got to learn how to play piano now. It's like it came from a really natural place of loving the music,
Yeah.
and you absorbed the music before you tried to create it. So you had this love and passion and all this indirect knowledge of like how this music sounds and how it's created. And then,
Yeah.
your influences, like from when you were 3 years old playing Zelda, have turned into, your epic music and your compositions
Yeah.
to what they are today, which is, from talking to other composers, it seems like a very nice way to get into it. And people who do that way and come from a passion of music, like stay with the art and the just the joy of composing or playing, which is really, really great to see.
Yeah, thanks. I really enjoy that too, like actually writing the music, what you like to hear and what resonates with your feelings, and not just production. I'm not just writing music to create a product and sell that. It's like the reason that I'm doing this so much now is because it just feels like the right thing, you know, because I've enjoyed it for so long and I never really found something that was fitting for me, like a job or like any hobby really that I really fully enjoyed until
Yeah,
music came. So that's really nice.
it is such a nice thing to hear. Um, just a natural progression, and you're doing something you like. And again, from Epic Music World, and all those other types of YouTube platforms, you're getting great responses. We just had a chat about it before, so it's really, really good
Yeah.
to see. So I want to get into, because we were talking before about like my YouTube channel, trying to like show people and educate people and just expose people who are watching to a bunch of these different things. So I like to have, a little bit of inspiration and what they do. But I like to talk about like the technical aspects. So I want to know
All right.
with your compositions, right? With your Ben Berkenbosch compositions you release, do you have something that you focus on, especially in your like epic music, that you really think resonates into a good piece? Like, are you really focused on like a melody? And I know like some people who compose this type of thing, they say, oh, you need a good chord progression, because if you don't have a good chord progression, it's not supporting the song. What's your take on that to get these great pieces you're composing?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question, actually. It's one of the more important things to know. For me, it's like I don't have like always a melody that's the main idea. Sometimes it's like something rhythmic based, or sometimes it's a certain instrument or sound design I made. It's always a different thing that's like the main idea of the piece, and then I'm trying to evolve that main idea into a whole song. So like I have something cool I came up with, and I want to evolve that into like a full composition. And I do think harmony is a really important one, but also like you need to have something memorable, and
Mm.
not just having a great sounding song, but it also needs to be memorable in my opinion. So I always try to like make something memorable, either the melody or like the ostinato. Like in Contingencies, that one is received really well. It was one of my first songs, and
Mm.
that is like it is this ostinato that's quite memorable. And then that's like you can have an ostinato like that, but you can also have a melody, because there was also a melody on top. Or sometimes it's just like really typical sound effect, like I put in
Mm.
the island, and I have like this synth bendy sound, and that goes from the major seven into the root of the song.
Yeah.
So it's like gives really emotional impact, and stuff like that are just main ideas that give your piece like some unique flavor. And then it's also like a matter of making everything fit and sound like good. It needs to sound that it makes sense, not that you have 100 random things going on, but rather just one great main idea that works really well.
Absolutely. It sounds again like it's just a natural progression, not, trying to force anything or like, okay, I want it to sound like this. You're naturally creating something and just letting it expand from there, not forcing anything. And it sounds like you're doing something unique as well, which is really, really good to hear. You want to do it in your way and show your unique sounds, and then
Yeah,
develop your piece into a full blown piece from one idea. And what I see from a lot of beginner composers, and I'm sure you've seen this as well listening, is trying to get so many ideas into one piece of music.
yeah, I
Yeah.
see that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, and but it sounds like you're sticking with one strong idea and just producing a piece that's just got a natural flow, which
yeah.
again in my
Well,
workflow. Sorry.
it automatically, like when you have a great main idea, in my opinion, you also get like smaller ideas, and they flow really naturally when you have a great main idea. When you
Mm,
compose, you just feel inspired because the main idea is so nice,
mm,
and that will like give you good ideas of like certain smaller things in the song that also sound great on their own and together, of course. Because it just it's like it's not really something I can explain really well. It's just it flows like I get that idea because the main idea inspires me. You hear like an ostinato even though it's not there, because you just imagine it to be there.
yeah,
And like
absolutely.
that's where they always fit.
Mm,
Usually I do start with like a piano sketch, or like when
yep.
I'm drumming or I'm bored, I have like 100 ideas every day. But unfortunately, lately I don't really get the time to make every idea into a piece, because I have like certain pieces for labels I have to write, and have to do it in a certain style, but I always try to like pull it off in a way it still sounds unique. So I listen to a lot of different songs in that style, in that genre, and then I'm trying to come up with some ideas, some piano sketches. So when I don't feel inspired for something, I make myself feel inspired. And I
Absolutely.
think that's so important. Just you will learn over time to make everything sound professional. And that's also something I'm still learning. It's like a never-ending progress. But it's like if you can't keep consistency and can't keep going on, then it won't have any effect. Because if you stop, that I think that's the most important thing, to stay driven, to stay inspired. For me, that's like super important.
Well, that carries on into my next question. I'm going to ask you this question, then we're going to have a quick break. As per all my chats, this break for you viewers at home won't be anything. So we're going to have a 30-second break. But what would be your biggest piece of advice to young composers or people who are starting out? And there's heaps of people online or just, on different places or even in real life, depending on where you live and where you go, just trying to learn this and figure it out. And, obviously there's no golden ticket or key piece of information. But if someone came to you and said, Ben, how do I get started? How do I get into this style of music? What would you say to them if you had to sit them down and give it to them straight?
Yeah, well, I do think it still comes near to what I said like a minute ago. The most important thing is like you have to keep your mental health, you have to keep your inspiration, you have to keep your consistency. That's the most important thing. You have to keep that great. Because it's like it can be quite hard to like handle everything, especially composing. It's not that easy. So you really have to have a strong mind to handle it. I think training that is one of the most important things. And just find people that can teach you how to do things, approach things nicely, ask them nicely, be humble. Yeah, those are the most important things in my opinion. And stay patient and don't give up hope. Like
Absolutely.
That's always important.
There's a big just from all these composers I've spoken to over the time, and they're just so willing to share so much information and have the same thing, talk to different people, get little bits of ideas. Obviously you can't learn how to write a whole master the style from one person, but everyone has their own perspective and ideas and just little ways to get people through. And that's the whole point of why I'm doing these videos and why I have my whole YouTube channel, so people can have the chance to talk and hear different people and experience different things.
I think that's great, like to have so many different perceptions. That's so important. I think like from one perception you won't get really far, but you would like so many different people that learn you different things, that teach you different things, that just gives you really broad perspective. And it's good to know what can go wrong and what can go right and what to do yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if I said that really great.
No, I 100% get what you mean, man. Getting a whole
that's
broad
nice.
and different understanding will, it really empowers people, and just, picking up a few different bits of pieces at the end of the day comes together and forms who you are as a musician. And the other big thing that I feel people need to know is like, how to get through it. Obviously you need creativity, but it's also like, as you said, the mental aspect of it, the technical aspect of it, now using computers and MIDI controllers and getting through that, and just slogging through a piece some days, and trying to still find that inspiration. It's it is something that understanding from different people will help you with.
Yeah, it's helped me like a lot to just learn from so many different people. just to be really open-minded, and it really just sets you free. It gives you a bigger world. Because if your world is so small, with only your own ideas and own perception, then it makes really hard to focus on the bigger picture and get like, if you want to get great at something, if you want to become big, you can't do that by staying small. You have to broaden your perception of perceptive.
Absolutely. You need to get out there and experience a whole bunch of different things. What we're going to do now, we're going to have a quick break for us. For you guys, as I said, it'll be nothing. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments with Ben. Stay tuned. Cool. And we're back here with Ben Berkenbosch, having a quick break, getting back into chatting about some music stuff. But I'm going to move away from the music for a sec, Ben, and ask you a little bit about yourself personally. What other musical or non-musical hobbies, do you have? Or are you
non-musical hobbies?
Are you just locked in a room 24/7, just MIDI keyboard in front of you, pumping out songs?
Yeah, I like this question already, because I usually say my non-music hobby is playing piano, because actually it kind of is like playing piano for me has become like just a chill hobby, while producing and arranging and orchestrating music is like the more serious business. I do a lot of different things though. But not like really specific a hobby or something. I do take a lot of walks. I enjoy nature. I travel, not a lot, but when I get the chance, I like to travel to different places. Like I've been to London a couple of weeks ago, and that was really fun. Yeah, I'm also not really a big fan of parties. But I do like to visit friends and just chill, nothing like big parties.
Yeah.
And like more, I enjoy like peace a bit more, like nature or just
you're a pretty zen guy.
Yeah, well, sort of. You may not really hear that in my trailing music, but yeah, I'm kind of zen usually. I try to find the zen place, at least. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, I suppose, you've got to stay calm, and then, you got to find ways to calm down. And, I suppose for the past 2 years as well with COVID, depending on where you are in the world, travel has been difficult. So I'm not sure if that's impacted you, but, I know in Australia now, lots of people have got the travel bug and traveling everywhere they can, and even across Australia. It's a huge place, Australia, but the world's opened up a bit now, so I suppose you're enjoying that.
Yeah, I am enjoying that for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm not traveling like a huge amount, but just when I do get the chance, I do enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's it's a good thing to do, clear the mind and keep fit as well.
I was just thinking about non-music things that I do. It's not really a hobby, but I also go to school as a software developer.
Oh, cool.
So I like program stuff.
Yeah.
And so like websites, apps, sort of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I really hate it, to be honest. Actually, that's the thing. It's really not my thing, but I want to finish school. So I'm finishing it with quite a lot of pain in the ass, because I really don't enjoy it. It's such a pain. All I do is like, I get errors and I don't know how to fix them. So I have to ask somebody to help me. And like that on repeat every single day. Music became really nice to bring me a bit of peace.
I've got lots of friends who are, computer engineers or scientists or developers, and it's just I've tried a little bit of programming, but it just over my head. It just goes over my head.
I feel you.
I don't, even though it's like logical, it's just it's a little bit confusing sometimes. But I suppose having that tech hobby as well goes really well in hand with music, and especially now, like
Yeah,
using
for sure.
doors and stuff. It comes in handy, and it's what you
Yeah,
want.
it does teach you a lot in like how to organize files and such, and like troubleshoot small things, simple things.
I can't
So for
talk
sure,
about. Sorry, you go.
I know it's for sure useful when you have like a problem with Cubase. Like I use Cubase, so when I have a problem, like a setting that doesn't work, I usually manage to figure it out myself. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, you mentioned
It's not for
file
nothing.
file organizing, and I'm all right at like the tech side, and I can manage my own studio. And sometimes I'm just like, oh god, I don't know what's happening. My file organization is horrible. I try
Oh
and keep
yeah,
it organized, but Windows is just super messy. And I'm sure with Cubase as well, like
yeah, it's
it's so messy, and like the plugin organization as well can get
yeah.
messy.
I do agree. That's like the plugin organization for me is also a big mess. It's just
Yeah.
I have to actually my computer is kind of a mess, but I organize everything that I need to use. So I know where to find the stuff I need to know where to find, and the stuff I don't care about, that's like, yeah, I don't know where it is, but it's fine. I don't need it.
And the Windows, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you're on a Mac or a PC.
I'm on
Um,
a PC.
Yet the Windows search function is horrible, isn't it? Like your
It's
start bar,
slow.
it's horrible. They need to fix
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, it's annoying for sure.
It's absolutely horrible. But
But we'll
let's
make it work.
we find
That's
a way. We find a way,
You
don't
have
we?
to innovate, otherwise you can't move on.
Let's
So
get back into music a little bit. And you
nice.
mentioned before you're known for your epic, trailery, hybrid synthy, orchestral piano kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Is there any other styles that you listen or compose to? You mentioned you loved Zelda when you were like 3, and I suppose that's
that
kind.
was
Sorry, you
yeah. I
go.
mean, no, that was like that's more orchestral stuff. So that's
Yeah.
what like gave me a bit of feel for orchestral music,
Mm.
and for really nice melodies and harmony.
Yeah.
And it always has like really professional, really interesting and exciting stuff. But it's not what I listen to a lot. It may surprise some people, but the majority of music I listen to is not orchestral, it's not epic music. It's like the majority of music I listen to is mostly it's hard to find a genre name. Sometimes it's really annoying to find a certain name for a genre.
Oh,
But like
absolutely.
artists like Lucy McAlpin, Eloise, Bruno Major, like sort of jazz, chill music.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
I love that a lot, but I also like to listen to piano music, like Oliver Arnold, Tony Anderson. I'm a big fan of Tony Anderson. He's so good. And I also enjoy epic music, of course. I
Yeah.
just listen to really wide variety of music. I also listen to some rock bands. I listen to pop music. I listen to hip hop. Well, like I do like to listen to the epic hip hop, like with NF and Tommy Prophet. I think that's really cool.
Oh, that's great. Now, do you compose anything? Like, is there going to be a Ben Berkenbosch rap track coming out in the next?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't like actually made really a track in that style. I have wrote like a little bit of some jazzy tracks. It's
Yeah.
just I'm not really used to composing it so well that I want to get a bit better at it. So maybe once I'm like at a better level,
Yeah.
then it would be fun. Maybe also someday I can like do like sing and make like a whole song with my vocals rather than just piano or something. That would be fun, but it's something to aim for.
I'll be waiting for that. I'm waiting for that now. I'm waiting for
It
a
will probably take some time, but I do try to put some elements of the different genres I listen to in my harmony. Usually it's the harmony where I put it,
Mm.
because the harmony of jazz style songs are just really inspiring in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I went to university for guitar playing. Um,
Yeah,
Not that I play a lot of jazz now, but just the harmony is very interesting, and especially
yeah.
when you put it in a new context. Like I played in a bit of a jazz fusion rock band, and it's always
Oh, that's so
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, it's always interesting, just throwing like, even something as basic as like a minor five or a minor four or something like that. It just a little bit of spice on top of the mix. Hey.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. It's just I feel like sometimes harmony can be really boring. And I have to
Yeah.
admit, sometimes I have like really simple harmony because it's effective and that's also really important.
Hmm.
But like just to play, when I play piano, I like to do some really complex harmonic stuff and experiment a lot. But with orchestrating and producing music, it's just way harder to like nail that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe I'll bring out a piano album or something with more jazzy stuff. Who knows? There's so
Oh,
much stuff I can do. And I
oh,
can
oh,
actually
oh, sorry, you go.
um no wait. Um it's I have some stuff I am working on, but I'll leave that for us in a moment.
We'll come to that in a moment. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So that's why I
absolutely.
waited. Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
talking
it's fine.
also about what you want to do in the future. Are there any other goals for you? Are you, could there be the goal to move away from music completely? I'm assuming not. But
Um,
is there a goal in your music playing? Do you want to, compose for a movie, or are you just happy, composing your pieces for now and doing that? What's the goal in, 5, 10, or even 1 year time?
yeah, my goal is to make a proper living with music. So like that's the first thing that comes to mind, and I'm planning to achieve that mainly through library music. But then when I get that settled, when I can like afford everything from my music, make a decent living, I want to like experiment with lots of stuff. So a movie here, maybe a concert, or just anything music related. It's super
Hmm.
fun to me, and I'd love to try different things, try different genres, try different, yeah, like you said, scoring a movie. That would be really cool to do someday, like a proper
Hmm.
movie. I'm down for that. It's just I need to make sure I get a living first, so I'm grinding out a lot right now. And once I have a decent living, I can also find maybe a bit more time for myself, like and for my social life. But yeah,
Go out in nature, have another walk.
yeah, have like a 2 hour walk every day rather than a 1 hour walk.
It
Just like
sounds
several things.
it sounds like you're open for so much, which is, great to see. There's people out there who are saying, just focus on your one thing. But I really like your attitude. You just want to try everything and give a whole bunch of thing a goal, give a whole bunch of mediums a go, sorry. But you're still keeping, true to your style, and, still producing
Yeah,
this interesting and effective music, which is really, really great to see.
yeah, thank you. And it's just I do like that a lot because my main style it just flows automatically. You can often hear
Mm,
like how I make a song because of certain ways I usually write things.
mm.
But then also like I'm open for everything as long as it's related to music because I found myself really enjoying that, and that's just who I am. It's what I found out because I hate programming so much, coding at school.
Yeah.
I did find out of who I am and what I really like to do. So that's a great thing, I think. And
Oh, that's
then
good to
I'm
hear.
open to everything creative. So I would love to learn a lot of different things. And I also might be really cool to travel the world in the future. Like living a bit of a digital nomad lifestyle. Not sure if you're familiar with that, but that's like when you freelance and you just go to different countries and then just work from off your laptop in different countries and just see a bit of the world while you're composing. It's also really fun because I know so many composers over the world, and I just really like to meet up with some. I met up with someone in London a couple weeks ago, and it was so much fun.
Well, that's
So I
so
really
cool.
enjoyed that. It's just finding those like-minded people, which I don't really have where I live right now. So I think that would be something to look forward to for me.
It sounds like you've got an absolutely amazing perspective on this, and just, you know, your creativity is driving it, and your passion for music as well, which is really, really great to hear. So just finishing up there, do you have anything in the works that you're allowed to talk about? Is there a new new EP coming out, or some new songs that you'd like to share with us all?
Well, I almost like dropped the idea, but just like Frozen in Time that I released last January, I've started working on my next album already. It will take quite some time before it releases. I'm actually planning for it to be the same date as this year, 31st of January, but I'm not sure if I can manage that. But if I can, that would be cool. So I'm making like new album, and the main idea is like, it's not frozen in time, it's more adventurous, but it still maintains my approach and my style. It's a bit like more open to the world and exploring certain things. It has to give like a sense of freedom. So that's what I'm writing right now. That's what I'm writing in my off time, because I'm having like quite some commissions lately. And I'm also working with the Epic Music World label, which Sky revealed in the live chat. But not everybody knows that. But I'm also writing for the Epic Music World label, and there will be some music in the near future. Music I wrote on Epic Music World from the label, so that's also really exciting. And with Mirkwood Music, that's another label I'm writing for, and there's also some stuff for me coming up in the pretty near future. Actually, it might be released when you see this interview. It might probably, I think the new EP released when this interview comes out. So
well, I can assure the viewers that in the description below, again, we've got all your socials, your YouTube channel, everywhere that we can find your music.
That would be awesome.
So make sure to go check out Ben's music, because I can assure you, you definitely won't regret it, which is amazing to hear. And again, it sounds like you've got some amazing plans for the future, and I don't think you'll ever stop writing music, which is really, really good to hear.
Yeah, thanks. I really enjoyed this interview, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really fun.
Thank you so much for joining me and giving us an amazing insight on yourself and on your music. You know, it's amazing just to talk to a whole bunch of different people and yourself, and get to know these people behind the music, and you know, see what they're all about. So I thank you again.
I'm glad to be a part of that.
Thank you so much. Again, guys, go check out Ben's music. You won't regret it. It's absolutely amazing. Links will all be in the description as well. Go follow Ben, go subscribe him, go check out all his socials. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.